Welcome to Hitman OST as I burst through the door on this one. And of course, for this one, I've got Mr. Fluke with me.
Heyo.
How are you, Mr. Fluke?
Not bad, not bad.
So how much time have you been putting into Hitman? More than you thought you would, or less than you thought you would?
A lot more than I thought I would, actually. I don't know, the earlier Hitman games didn't really grab me a massive amount. The stealth systems always felt clunky. And while this is still clunky, it does flow a lot better than the previous ones have done.
I wouldn't say the stealth system is clunky. Clunky is the wrong word for this one. I just feel it's flawed.
I don't know, there are some very silly points about it.
And now, firstly, before anything, there's a bitch and jump. But the main issue for me is that the difficulties scale all the way from like super easy to super hard. Just going to say that one right now.
Yeah.
So depending on what difficulty you play on, your mileage may vary. We are not playing on the super hard difficulty, as you can tell by the fact that we have a UI here. And to be fair, playing on a super hard difficulty for a review is just crazy.
Yeah. And to be fair, it's the first time that you've played the game. It does say that, you know, you need to hover over the different. You're expected to know the areas, to know the bad guys, and yeah.
So they're split into two categories. There are, I think, 5 in total. The highest one of which is no UI, no map, no nothing, just you and a crosshair.
You quite well sneaked away from that guy, and then you're just walking along rather than crouching behind any of these things. What?
Well, I had no instinct or anything left, and it was like, the helicopter's going to see me the second I step out. Anyway, I wonder if I can run for the door. No, it's on high alert. Oh god, there's my wrench, not my gun. Quick, let's go down to the blaze of glory. Kill that guy. Everything's going horribly wrong. And I think this guy kills me instead of me killing him. Yep. But
my word.
So for me, it didn't feel clunky. It felt... It's the instinct system. More than anything else, I'm going to draw contention with the instinct system. Because it gives you too much stealth, essentially. Like, there is no... this is a common issue that's been complained about by many different people. And I'm going to have to throw in on this one as well and agree. There's no way that if I'm walking past a guy that has been given my picture and knows who I am and is looking for me...
I'll stop you there. Nobody has your picture. Nobody knows what you look like.
You know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Well, no.
It's like if my disguise is blown...
all they know is there's a bald guy around.
Right. Okay. So if I in an area like this, or in an area like the library, if I kill someone and I'm dumping the body and the guy sees me and it's like, okay, he's wearing a cop outfit, this is what he looks like, white guy, about this height, this build, bald, a scar on the back of his head and all this stuff. If I'm then walking directly past the guy, like within 3 feet of him, and I've just got my hand up to the side of my face as I walk past, A, that's
like that.
Bloody suspicious for someone to do that, and B, it just irritates me. It's like, there are moments where I was able to just put my hand up to the side of my face and walk through and not care.
Yeah. While that is silly, I think it gets even worse. The cover system's the worst bit for me, the thing that keeps frustrating and annoying me. The way a lot of the movement of NPCs appears to be scripted. So it's only if you get near them they start doing something and or move, or they'll say something. So I'm spending most of my time crouched behind stuff waiting for people to move to the right place, and that's essentially the game, is crouching behind cover. Even if the guy's literally on the other side of the cover and is actively looking over it with a torch, he doesn't see you. Even if it's just a thin wall, it's just like, what? That's just
wrench
silly.
To the face. But it's still an improvement.
That was impressive, mind. Wrench
still
to
an
the face and
improvement over the previous Hitman games. Like if you've played any of the previous ones, like even if you've played the very first level on wrench to the face, on Blood Money, wrench to the face again, another wrench to the face, bam. There are moments where you engage or encounter NPCs and they literally have one line, wrench to the face. And they will only say this one wrench to the face line every single time, just over and over, ad infinitum, just over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And that's it. Like, they don't have much programming. They just stood there and designed for you to do what you need to do with them. And then you encounter ones that literally just walk the set path. And yes, NPCs in this will walk the set path. But I feel it's a great improvement that
It's not that they walk the set path, it's that you can't do anything. You can't stealth past them at that point until you've waited for certain things to happen.
Well,
that tied in with the checkpoint system where I can't just save it. You've got to get to this checkpoint or that checkpoint. And people, once you get to the checkpoint, if you load that checkpoint, people aren't in the same place they were when you saved the checkpoint. They're often loaded totally different random locations. They're obviously not, they're scripted, but it reloads them to a scripted set fixed location.
Yeah, but there's a pro and a con for this for me when it comes to the pathing system. Instinct does something good, and it's not really instinct, it's the whole instinct mode in air quotes, rather than the instinct bar itself, because this doesn't tick down during this part of it. But when you're activating instinct mode, you will see their path. That's a wonderful improvement, because you can you can see whether or not you're actually going to have to wait for them. You can use your instinct
to see if that guy's going to come round here and see you, or if you're going to be like, whew, just.
Yeah, so that then adds to the freedom of the game in the fact that you're not stood there waiting for the NPC and then it's like, oh, I could have just done it anyway, he wasn't even going to come here.
Yeah.
I love the hippie that's having a go at me for acting like a child right now because I'm crouching around with a wrench. But it's stuff like that. Like, that NPC in one of the earlier Hitman games would have, like, one line. And he would just rabbit that one line.
Yeah.
The fact that he's patrolling, yes. The fact that I can throw him off his patrol by doing certain things. I
like how the disguises work. The disguises tie in well. And that kind of... I can see where they're going and what they were trying to achieve with it. No, it ties into the whole using the instinct. Because you won't need to use instinct if you do certain things. So if you were to knock him out and steal his disguise, you might not need to. I mean, you probably would in this case because they're getting raided, but there's a number of occasions where you can change disguises to just get through different areas in succession.
Yes, like the sexy cowboy.
Yeah, but you've got to keep taking people out, and obviously that lowers your score because you're taking people out.
The scoring system you mentioned
is one of the things that really, really annoys me, because it's the big selling point of the game is supposedly the freedom of the game, and there are many different ways to complete a level and all the rest of it. You know, it's entirely
you feel that there's many ways to complete a level, but only one right way. Is this what you're saying?
Yeah, very much, and there is, because you get like that negative score for a non-target casualty. So if you wanted to clear out all the bad guys, all the dirty cops, all the rest of it, you can't. You get penalised for that. That's not encouraging the player to do it. However, that's saying there is a right way and a wrong way. The right way is to stealth through it and not be seen at all, because that's the only way to get the highest score.
Now, if you notice the score I got there, this is probably not the best way of going about wrench to the face doing this. But of course, this is my style of doing things. Wrench to the face, wrench to the face. So you've got 350 for a non-target casualty, right?
If you shoot them in the head, you do get bonus points. You get an extra 185, so you get less of a loss.
But you also get... I love the fact that there is a guy right behind me while I'm doing this. But there's also the... if you get a silent kill, you get points. And if you hide the body,
you get more points. Yeah, so if you were to get a headshot...
They do counter each other out.
They do. If you were to get a headshot and then hide the body, you only lose about 30 points overall. But you're still losing points. That's still a negative for removing that guy.
Yeah.
There's no way to break even unless... The best way of beating the game, in inverted commas, would be to go through completely silent, not take anybody out other than the intended targets. Which I get, that's kind of what they're trying to push you towards, but there's got to be a better way than basically rewarding you with score. Me irk is, it's not just score, because I don't really care about the score.
This is a really long load time. I didn't realise that the load time was this long until...
some of them are bad, some of them are nearly instant though. It's a bit all over the place, but we'll come back to that.
Yeah, we'll get to the technical side of things
the score thing kind of... Because it rewards you with certain bonuses to make the character better, to improve 47's abilities in various ways, you know what I mean? You have to get the score. You can't just go, I don't care about score, I'm going to just have fun with it, because the character is a lesser character for playing it like that.
Do you want to know the interesting thing about that. So, the shout out to Steve. The way for getting through a level, like this level that I'm doing here, right? There's the thing that I dislike about Instinct, is that, like, you know, I'm just going to put my hand up to my face and walk past people.
He's still following you. He's going to follow you, and he wants to check your disguise. He wants to see you.
Yep, none of these guys care though. It's just like, nope.
That's not even Burning Instinct though.
Yeah, that's not even Burning Instinct. I got away from the guy that was slightly suspicious. I'm not sure why that wasn't Burning Instinct.
That should have been.
It wasn't.
A crowd to hide in.
Yeah. But, so, to get through this level, I can do this without killing anyone at all. This one. And the only people that I killed doing this, I killed out of either I wanted to, or cause.
I got through
they're the only
this one,
reasons.
I think, without killing it. I stealthed through a lot of the early stuff.
So, at the end of the levels, you'll get your score, and then it will pop up a window that basically has, you have unlocked X, Y, and Z. And the way that you unlock these things is by finding them. Like, the outfits, the disguises, the weapons, all this kind of stuff.
The items, yeah.
So, to unlock stuff, you need to get a bad score.
Yeah, essentially.
You need to purposely shoot yourself in the foot on the leaderboards to unlock the items within the level.
So what? I don't quite understand what exactly unlocking the items does. Wrench to the face, totally unnecessary as well. All you gotta do is push the button. The guy's busy.
I know. All I had to do was push the button, but no, I walked in front of him. I let him know I was there, and I introduced him to Mr. Wrenchy. And now, there's a guy, if you notice, the door was open. People were watching me.
Yeah.
And they were just like, what's that? A cop wrenching another cop? Well, Chicago, it happens. Well, I don't think I'm in Chicago.
Because they're general crowd rather than specific people.
But again, there was the very first level, the one with the Chinese pavilion and Chinatown.
Yes.
Not going into spoilers on that, of what you have to do. But there was a moment where I was trying to take out a guy, and the crowd spotted me.
Nice.
No one was around. People in the crowd noticed. And I don't get how that happened, because I didn't think they could.
What disguise were you wearing at the time, or what were you wearing?
I wasn't. I was just in an alley, dressed as myself. I walked up behind a guy that was doing something, and silent killed him, got the silent kill, got away with it, was then changing my clothes, and got spotted.
Yes, the changing your clothes is a hostile action. Puts a little exclamation mark in the corner.
But killing the guy isn't?
Nobody saw you do that. They only saw you
stealing his clothes. I was stood on the
clothes.
exact same spot. Yeah, but
so
I was stood on
they may assume, and that's how you get spotted, so the alarm gets raised.
Oh, that guy's just giving his mate a hug from behind. A really aggressive hug from behind. Is that what you're telling me?
Well, they didn't see you do that, did they? You said you got the silent kill, you got away with it.
Yeah. But the AI... I don't get it. The AI in the game is an upgrade
the problem with
from
trying to do a
previous
stealth
ones.
game like this, like all of the Hitmans have tried to do, like Deus Ex tries to do, but tries to be a bit more actiony to kind of cover it up, is the fact that it's really hard to do that flowing environment where somebody is that 007 style silent spy that nobody notices, because A, it's very hard if they make it properly, and B, it's extremely hard to code. You have to script such a level of depth that only now are we starting to see such a level of depth where it's starting to... You can't see it's just an AI. In some places it does feel very natural, but in a lot of places it's very jarring.
My issue with the AI though is that in some places it feels such an improvement from previous Hitman games, and it works so well. And then there are other moments where it's as dumb as a doorpost. And I understand that it's hard to get it...
You're the only person getting on that train, and the cop's like, yeah, whatever.
I understand that it's hard to get super smart AI, but preventing stupidly dumb AI? I mean, that level that we just saw me finish is one of my favourites, just simply because it shows how much the Hitman series has evolved. coming from previous games, we're now watching your footage, just interrupting my point. So this is you playing, and this is your style of play.
No, well, this is not going to be my style of play. This is me getting a little bit in the story, to be fair. Because it's, orphanage, all these nuns help. They run this orphanage, and they know I'm not a very nice person. You know, they have an idea of what 47 does for a living.
And other bad men have come along, and you're now taking this personally.
Well, yeah, take it a little personally. They've kind of like raped and murdered a load of nuns, and it's like, that's a little off, isn't it, guys? It's a little...
Right, so we'll wrap up my point, and then we'll come to this level. The level that we just saw, the train station, it shows how much the series has evolved, because in something like Blood Money or Contracts, the NPCs would be so much dumber, and they would have like one line. The issue for me is the fact that the older games just didn't pay attention to, you know, crowds like that, or to anyone that wasn't a key target. But this has actually made the world feel
a lot more worldly,
a lot more alive.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You can see that they. But that's the extra complexity in code and complexity in the world. So this is where I decide I'm just going to kill everybody. It's like, what? You torture... No, you don't. Oh, you don't torture the security guy for an orphanage. I mean, really. We'll have none of that.
So, okay, non-target casualty is 312. Headshot was 188. And if you hide the body, I believe it's 140.
130 or something similar.
So you do actually, I think you get just a few points if you do it. Depending on how it's done, you could actually get 1 or 2 plus points for it. But that's not the point. That's not what we're getting at. It's still a case of the game gives you this wonderful world to solve these puzzles in. Because they are essentially puzzles. Work out your way of doing it.
Yeah.
And then they do all this, and then it's like, okay, you can do it however you want. And it's like a parent watching you, and it's like, no, that's wrong.
Yeah. You can do it however you want, just not like that or that. You can do it like that, but I'm not really keen on you doing it like that. And you can do it like this, but I'm not impressed. And I mean, I guess trying to encourage people to do it better and to play again, but, you know, there's a line.
Personally, I don't care about the score, but I'm not sure how many other people
that comes with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm not so keen on the score. It's the fact that I'm missing unlocks by doing it.
I like the fact, though, that depending on how the level plays out, different things will happen. For example, you mentioned...
Yeah, I didn't get a cutscene that you got at the beginning
you were
where
checking,
you drop off.
Yeah, you were checking the footage just before this, and you were like, oh, you have a helicopter.
The helicopter was looking at you. There's a cutscene. I didn't get that at all because I stealthed my way through previously. I'm guessing you got spotted, so they knew where you were.
I ran out of instinct bar and they saw me. Yeah. Swap fire axe with syringe. What are you going to do? Give them an air embolism?
I was tempted, and it's like, you know what? These guys have earned a fire axe. I'm going to keep on all of this.
It's like, nope, Mr. Axie.
Yeah. No, it's the priest with the axe.
So, without going into spoilers, let's discuss the story a little bit, like what we think of it.
I quite like the story, to be fair. I'm involved enough to have thrown away my usual play style and gone, you know what, these guys have earned a thorough beating. I'm just going to kill everybody.
Does that take a lot for a game to do that?
I think it may be just that it's now got a rich enough backstory. The Hitman games have had a long enough history. There's enough to it. You do
Swap fire axe with book. I love killing someone with the book. Just like, here, read a good book.
You know, I'm like, book, fire axe, book, no, never mind.
It's like, well, the book is a bestseller, but Mr. Axie is Mr. Axie.
Yeah. Is there anybody about? No, not going to get seen as soon as I come down here. So even though I'm killing them, I don't just run out like you do and just be like, yeah, whatevs, let's go. Come on, me and you, right here.
It's quite interesting to see a different playstyle than what I normally play it. I mean, to be fair, the levels that were my footage, I was way more stealthy than I normally am. How I got through that like that, I have no idea. The stars aligned. Because normally, I try to be stealthy, I get seen by the first guy, and then everything goes to absolute hell in a handbasket.
Yeah, here he is, bang. Oh.
Hey,
Yeah.
And you can see it though. You can see that's something they did really well, is the modelling of somebody seeing you. Because if somebody sees you shoot a guy, he might return fire. He might back off and run and tell. If it's a civilian sees you, for example, he'll run off and tell a guard, and the guards will come running to your location, and they'll tell other people, and you see them. Yes, you see that panic ripple spread through everybody. And if you can end it quickly enough, if the guy turns around to run away and alert somebody, and you put one in the back of his head, and nobody sees him go down, it stops there, providing you can hide the bodies and nobody walks in on you hiding the bodies, etc., etc.
That was actually something that we got to take a look at Gamescom, and we did put a video up of it, but it's no longer available for reasons. But they were showing off the ripple effect. You heard that too. And it really does add to the world. They've done so much good, but I don't think it's reached the level of great yet. Are you trying to go to Narnia?
I'm just like, I shot that guy and I'm going to hide in the cupboard, and they're all like, where'd he go? And I'm sat there giggling to myself, like, no idea where that came from.
I feel that this is a step in the right direction, but I feel it isn't a big enough step in the right direction.
I'm just worried that they're going to kind of burn the franchise out before they actually get it perfect, get it just right.
I will say something, though. It's quite interesting to see what changes working on something like Kane and Lynch has brought to the Hitman series. If you look at the previous Hitman games, and then you look at this, you'll be sat there and you'll think, but they've changed. Some things have changed. But if you go and play Kane and Lynch, if you can force yourself to actually play it, or if you can find a friend to play it with, because it makes it slightly more tolerable.
It's a bit of a laughing co-op, yeah.
Yeah. You can actually see a lot of the ideas make more sense. Now that's also a worrying thing, because if they go too far in that direction, you'll ruin what Hitman is about.
Yes. You lose what makes Hitman Hitman.
Yeah.
So it is that slightly stealthy... See, it's really not... This is why I'm so sat on the fence. I really see what they're trying to do with how they've done the score system, but it's not... Yeah, there's still frustrating breaks.
Anything with a score system, there's always going to be one specific way of doing it.
Yeah, don't give score systems. Instead, I don't know, if you go through the sneaky route, improve 47's sneaky abilities. And if he goes all gun shooter, then improve his gun shooter abilities, because the enemies by that point are going to have better weapons, more armor. So if you're going all gunzerker style, then you're going to need those extra upgrades. If you're going stealthy, then the fact they're harder won't be a problem, because they're never going to see it coming like that unlucky bugger.
He nearly shot you. Nearly. He was swinging it round.
Yep, and it was like, there he is, not quick enough.
For me, there's the one issue that I have the hugest problem with in this game is that it's a good step in the right direction, as we mentioned, but it feels like it's too far of a step away from the old Hitman games at the same time. I understand what this one's about. Like, without going into spoilers, clearly you can tell what it's about by the title and just from watching the start of the game. But it's not a case of you're taking jobs anymore and doing contracts and upgrading your weapons and just coming back and relaxing and getting a new contract.
There's a much more linear story.
This is all about 47 and something that's going on, rather than the agency and working for them and doing that kind of thing. And that to me is kind of irritating, because, I feel the character is changing and evolving, and I feel that it's getting a lot more personal.
Just getting more personal than an axe to the forehead.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like I miss my silver ballers.
Oh, that's fine. I'm playing with my silver ballers now. No, that's the nearest I'm going to get to a spoiler. But I know, you don't live without forever.
But there is too long without.
No, I disagree, because there's still a good bit of. I disagree.
I know,
but it's to get you used to not just walking in and going, well, I have the silver ballers, I will win.
But that wasn't always the case with the silver ballers. It wasn't a case of I have silver ballers, I win. It was a case of I have silver ballers, I think I can win. And then you found out how horribly wrong you were.
And then you run out of ammo, and then you're like, oh.
It was like my sexy cowboy in AFG. It was like, I am a sexy cowboy. I am unstoppable. Oh, you have SMGs. My assless chaps do nothing.
My assless chaps, they are defenseless. Lead, my only weakness.
I love the fact that there is still the freedom to either take the time to be stealthy and work your way through.
I didn't see him coming at all.
Do everything you want to do, or you can just walk in and shoot someone.
You can, but like we said, you won't be as good for it. Yes, you can walk in and shoot everybody, but
if that's how you want to play Hitman, okay, that's fine. But you're being penalised by the game. You can still do it.
Yes, you
the
can.
fact that it's still there is what I like.
They'd argue that yes, you can still do it, but you couldn't really make it not, because what's it all going to devolve into if you get seen, other than an absolute all-out firefight?
They could do the whole Soldier of Fortune style things or Batman style things, where it's a case of they're holding someone hostage, and 47, you have to be careful. If they detect you, they'll kill them. And it's like mission failed, mission failed, mission failed.
Yeah, I guess. But to be fair, it tends to lead to that anyway in in the later levels, because they get
but they give you the freedom that if something goes wrong, like there are games where those levels are way too frequent, and you could have that as a problem here, but you don't.
Yeah.
Yes, like this is the thing. Like I said, it's a step in the right direction, but it's not a big enough step. I love the game.
Getting there, but not there yet.
But not quite to the awesome level I would want to share. But it's a step in the right direction, and I think I'll stay with it.
Well, I'm definitely going to play through it because I'm enjoying playing it.
I know I'm near the end. I just want to see the end. That's all.
I want to ask where you're up to now to see if you are actually. Yeah, but. Am
I ahead of you or am I not ahead of you? Is what you want to know.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, we'll have to discuss that off the air. So we have a few minutes. We should wrap this up now. So any final thoughts?
I just want to see it keep going. I really hope they've got some more ideas planned. I don't know obviously what's coming towards at the end of the story here, but I hope they've got more planned and they'll get a chance to really keep pushing this, because they have made great steps forward. Like I said at the beginning, it's a lot less clunky than the originals. It's still got jarring bits where you run into and it's like, okay, guys are standing there repeating a line, or guys obviously following, or you feel very much like you're trapped into a scripted spot, especially with the checkpoint system. That's the key thing I'd like to see change the most, the checkpoint system. Find an alternative. I'm not really sure what it is, but
I believe on the easiest difficulty you can essentially create your own.
Yeah, but it's not increasing the difficulty by making me do the same bit that I've now learned how to do over and over and over and over and over again till I figure out how to do this bit that's 30 minutes after the checkpoint. That's no fun. That's not difficult. That's repetition, and that's an artificial time sink. Something I have a massive bone of contention about, and I'm sure you're already aware.
I am fully aware of your boner contention. For me, looking at the timer, it's a case of, like I said, I feel it's a step in the right direction. I want to see the end. I wish it was an even bigger step in the right direction, but I'm happy. I'm looking forward to whatever comes next. Whether it's a game that follows 47 or not a game that follows 47, I don't know. You know, he may randomly end up sitting at home crying in a chair, Adam Jens style, going, I didn't ask for this, drinking whiskey, and then just kind of puts a silver baller in his mouth. It's like, I would rather die than become Kanan Lynch.
See, that's the worry.
That's what you see next. Co-op Hitman.
See, multiplayer would be fun, and some kind of that could be fun. Somebody's the target.
Maybe, but we'll have to discuss that another time.
Yeah, there's all sorts of entertaining possibilities, but I want to see them keep pushing this. It's getting more and more complex, and it's almost a living world. Yeah. Keep it going. You're nearly there.
Are you happy with the wording? Good but not great.
Yeah, good but not great.
Cool. So, if you have any questions, queries, or comments, please feel free to leave them down below. And of course, please feel free as well to tell us if you have picked up Hitman, how you're playing through it.
Yeah.
Because I'm always fascinated by that kind of thing. But apart from that, from myself, from Mr. Fluke, from everyone else at LN3. We will catch you for the next video. Peace.
In a while.